I run 4 law firms. All of them are 7 and 8 figures. We generate 15 to 20,000 leads a month. I'll be frank with you, it's gonna get more and more competitive and harder to get clients and survive in this space, especially with having concurrent law firms has given me a lot of experience very quickly. You could just imagine how much experience you get with one law firm, let alone having imagined 4 different teams, 4 different marketing systems, 4 different KPIs and things. I'm able to get that experience very quickly. And just to share some numbers, I actually had this big dilemma. I had a life coaching session this morning and I had this big dilemma. I'm like, I don't like about the numbers. At the same time, people need to I need to build the trust and then provide the proof. So again, the validation. So again, I'm just straight up give the disclaimer. I don't like talking about the numbers. I don't love talking about myself. I just do it to make sure that people have the authority or the thing that they know that I know what I'm talking about. But 4 law firms, all of them are 7 and 8 figures. 2 of them are 8 figures. We generate 15 to 20,000 leads a month, which comes out to about almost 800 leads a day, which gives me a lot of experience to know what it takes to generate leads, but more importantly, how to sign them up. And sign up is the hard part. And I think that's what I've been mostly focused on is the sign ups. So we'll get into the weeds of all these things, by the way, everything that I shared with you and how to generate them, how to sign them up. Right now, these days, we sign up about 900 clients a month across these 4 law firms. I think I've been able to sign up over 34,000 clients in my lifetime. My first law firm has 3,800 Google reviews. We have over 200 case studies of people who have joined our program and got good results from it. And again, the common theme is anything that I share is not theoretical stuff. And I think that really sets us apart from anyone else. You know, the experience that other people have is just, here's my experience, how I was able to grow my marketing company to get you. So let me give you that experience that you need. And I've learned that the nuances of running a law firm is a lot more complicated and a lot more to it than the nuances of a marketing company or something else. All the nuances that I share is literally hands down. It's the practical stuff about here's the pains that I had about hiring a lawyer or the staff, the intakers. Here's how I was able to incentivize the intakers to get us to 900 clients a month. And here's how I did it. And I think that's where the true value comes from our program is that practical, scalable experience.
900 clients a month. I know law firms do 900 clients a year. So, I mean, it's really the scale is staggering what you've accomplished. The first 400 episodes, we basically had 3 themes or 3 types of guests. You know, we had the successful solo or small firm practitioner who had a lessons type story to tell. Then we had who had a mindset or a skill set that I felt lawyers would be well advised to pay attention to. And then lastly, we had what I like to refer to as our gadget folks. People had a product or a service that solo or small firm practitioners might find useful in growing their firm. We've sat down and talked about the future of the law entrepreneur and come up with 3 practical and arching themes going forward. And I wondered if you'd like to take a couple minutes and introduce, since it's going to be largely shifting to you as we go forward, have you introduced the 3 new themes for the law entrepreneur going forward?
For sure. And as you shared, it ties in a lot of what you've already built and spoken about. So if you're a listener, this is going to really resonate with you. And a lot of thought has come to this, months and years of thinking about these things to be able to share these 3 themes with you. Number 1 is early adoption strategies in a super competitive landscape. I'll be frank with you, it's going to get more and more competitive and harder to get clients and survive in this space, especially with AI coming. But good news is we'll be that source to give you literally the most up-to-date as the week, as it's coming. And then I have our next episode, we'll do a little preview of next episode, what's to come. We'll make sure to give you the most up-to-date of that week, that month, of all those updates. And it will really speak to those early adopters and those pioneers that we have that's our audience. Number 2, something that you love, Neil, is the tech, the software, the practical tools for daily use, especially to our Mac and Apple lovers. We'll try to have our Microsoft listeners in mind too, but for the most part, I think 80% of it will be talking about all those tools that we use on a daily basis. I'm a huge tech fan, and I know Neil is too. We'll share those insights with you, what we're using religiously ourselves, how to think about automations, how to think about cybersecurity, practice management softwares, integration, which is huge, which I didn't realize how important integration is these days. Zapier, and pretty much all the latest and the best legal tech tools. And number three, something that's very dear to me, probably even more than anything else, is self-development and the better you and the mindset kind of aspect of life. So I realized as I was doing my coaching program is, I could share all the tools and resources and everything in the world, but if you don't feel good, if you're not in a good mental space, if you're dealing with stuff that are out of your hands, it doesn't matter what kind of resources I can give you. We got to first tap into you as a person first. Your energy, your mood, your stability, your emotions, your stress management, your work-life balance. So that will be a big focus for us. And sometimes, a lot of these things, especially when it comes to development, is obvious, but we'll try to be that source of reminder for you to give you that budge. Hey, don't forget about your family. Don't forget about to take some time off. And I always try to, stress those things. So even for me, I didn't realize until like a year ago when I started doing these webinars for lawyers every 2 months or so. And, I started to talking about Google LSA before Google LSA was released. Then Facebook ads for lawyers 4 or 5 years ago, and funnels and virtual assistants, all this stuff. And I realized one of the last trainings that I did, like, wait a minute, all these things, the common theme is being early in the space, being an early adopter. And for me, just naturally, I don't overthink things. I just learn and I quickly apply, like my life depends on it. And I try to apply, and then whatever results that I get, then I quickly try to pass that off to whoever that's willing to listen, whoever that takes advantage of it over time. I got all that feedback and those case studies back. Thank you so much, Sam, for telling me to do this and that. And when other people started getting results, I'm like, wait, there's something here. And now, good news for your listeners is that's going to be one of our central themes I think we'll get into a little bit later, is that sharing those cutting edge, early adopters kind of mentality. What's changing, how to stay ahead of it, how as the market becomes more and more saturated, more and more competitive, how to really stand out and thrive during this time. And I think I really do see this opportunity as one of the most life-changing opportunities. And I don't want people to be frightened by it or, scared of it. If anything, it should be happy and grateful for such an opportunity that change is happening. And I'm going to ride the wave on top.
One of the things I think it's interesting is that, I couldn't pass the baton, so to speak, if I didn't have an affinity with or a connection to the person that I'm going to pass that baton to. And, one of the things that I like about Sam that I think is similar to my experience is, I didn't overanalyze things either. When I decided to start a practice, I said, I think I'm going to start my own practice. That's all the thought I gave. When I decided to start a podcast, I'm like, I think I want to start a podcast. So all the thought that I gave to it. And I like Sam in that Sam says, I see something that I think can be a benefit to me and to my practice and to the people that listen to me. So let me just jump in and learn along the way and figure it out. And I'm not going to be, paralyzed by self-analysis, just going to jump in and get it done. And I think that's the entrepreneurial spirit that is embodied in the law entrepreneur. And I can't think of a better person than you, Sam, to pick up that mantle.
Appreciate it. I think that kind of mentality with the long-term mindset is what sets us apart, Neil. I think you're in it for the right reasons, especially in a space that, there's a lot of money involved and financial things involved. I think the people that are really in it for the right reasons, people can feel that and sense that. And I'm playing the super long-term game. Essentially, my mindset is, if I had all the money in the world, what would I be doing? It would be exactly what I've been doing every single day for the past 9 years. And I think that's the kind of model that you live by.
Well, the other aspect of that is, I always thought of myself as a teacher. I'm not the best attorney. When I was in the martial arts, I wasn't the best martial artist, but I knew I was a great teacher. And I think one of the things that we did over the past 8 years is we helped educate our listeners on this podcast. And you can't do that if you hold the information and the knowledge internally to yourself. I can't tell you how many times that people said to me, well, why would you share all that information for free? Why won't you sell it? Why won't you monetize it? And it's just, that's not who I was. That's not the educator I wanted to be. And that's really something about you, Sam, and your organization that I really respect, because I mean, you've given away so much knowledge and so much valuable insight through your experiences that I have to feel good about where this is going, because I know that tradition is going to continue.
Now, we would promise, bar none, the most value that you could possibly imagine for your audience. So if you're listening in, you're in for a treat for sure.
So now, Sam, I think you're on the podcast, 3 times? Or were you a 4-timer?
Correct. Back in 2019, and it really ties into, again, the early adoption, because in 2019, we were talking about virtual law firm. That was actually the name of the episode, how to start and grow a virtual law firm. And at that point, I was already 3-4 years into my virtual law firm practice. And I came and shared my successes with that, leveraging technology and automation to scale the practice. And in 2022, we had an episode on October 26, 2022, talking about acquiring new clients through sales funnels. So that was ahead of its time. And then in 2021, we talked about 5 tools to automate your law firm. So a lot of things about automation. So, a common theme, kind of 2 or 3 years before it became kind of mainstream, talking about those things. And now for the past almost 2 years, a year and a half at least, it's been a lot of AI and ChatGPT kind of focused about how to apply this AI change that's coming, how to apply it to the practice of law. And I have a lot of practical things that I do on a daily basis, and I pass that off, and I'll be sharing a lot of those with your audience.